Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Storytime. In the background here, you're going to see me doing my thumbnail, and you're going to see how I create my thumbnails while you get to hear a pretty interesting story about, well, these little guys right here. So, as you can see from the thumbnail, how I almost lost my leg. When I was younger, I want to say I was probably like 10, maybe 11. I was staying in a camper out in the woods, and I woke up the next day and I noticed something was funny with my leg. But, I was still young. I was really young, and I didn't want to ruin my camping trip. So I just kept it to myself. I didn't say anything. Well, the problem with that was we stayed down there for about a week, and in that week's time frame, my leg just kept getting worse and worse. So so it just kept going on and on. It kept getting worse and worse. It was hurting, it was bothering me. My knee started to swell up, and there just wasn't really too much that I could do because I was in a lot of pain, and I I didn't really know why. I mean, I kind of did. Um but the only reason I started to actually figure out that something was wrong was because of how big my knee had gotten in just a couple days. It went from just a bump like this to my knee was so big that I could barely even move it. And I didn't know what I was going to do because, I knew if I said something that I would ruin the camping trip for everybody. And I didn't want everybody mad at me for me not being able to do anything. So I kept it to myself. And I kept it to myself and I kept it to myself. But in the process of keeping it to myself, I didn't realize how much damage I was actually doing. And with that, I again, I was like I can't ruin this camping trip. So I kept it to myself. Well, eventually it just got to the point where I had to say something. Like I couldn't keep going going on how I was because it was just getting worse. So I went to my aunt's house and I spent probably about 2, maybe 3 days there. And her and my uncle noticed that, well, something wasn't right. But again, nobody could figure out what was wrong because I wasn't saying anything. Well, it got to the point where it was so bad that I had to say something. Like, I couldn't sleep at night. My leg was throbbing. My leg got really big. It swelled up, and and as it's doing all of this, I realized that I needed to go to the doctors. So I went to the doctor's office, and um, as I get into the doctor's office, they're freaking out. And I'm like, well, what's the issue? Like, I didn't understand what the issue was. And they're telling me, and they're like, you really need to get whatever's in there, you need to get it out. And of course, me being a kid, I'm like, well, what's in there? And they're telling me, we don't know. That's the problem. It could be anything. You could have got bit by a spider. Got you could have had anything happen. So at this point now, I'm freaking out because I don't understand. Again, I still don't understand what's going on. And they're still not really able to tell me too much of anything because they don't really know. All they know is I'm coming in, my leg is so swollen that I can't do anything with it. And they're just like me. They're trying to figure out why. But it's hard to figure out why when I wasn't giving them all of the details. And again, I wasn't giving them the details because, well, I was scared. I was scared. I didn't know what was going to happen. I didn't know if I would ever be able to walk again. I had no idea. So I go into the doctor's office, and when I get in there, I get up on the table. They look at it, they poke it, they tell me that it's really like warm, so that it's extremely infected. So at this point, I'm like, well, what could have happened? You look in the middle of it, if you can, in the picture you'll see of the guy's leg, if you look in the middle, you'll see two white dots. I had four. So the brown recluse bit me. If this is my knee, he bit me this way, and then he bit me that way. So I had four dots on my leg. And the doctors were sitting there and they went and they were like, there's only one thing we can really try. And I asked them what that was. And they said that they were going to go get the scalpel and they were going to cut my leg and they were going to stuff it with gauze if I couldn't pop it. So, being a little kid and trying to avoid that at all cost, you figure out a way. So I took my hands and with every ounce of might that I had, I squeezed it as hard as I could. Unfortunately, nothing came out. So I went back and I tried it again. Nothing came out. This thing was hard as a rock. I had squeezed it open, but what had happened was it swelled up because my leg was infected, but there was like not really a lot of juice or anything in there, and I couldn't get anything out. So as they're coming with the scalpel, so they're coming at my leg, I took both of my hands as hard as I could and I hit my knee. And when I did, it literally just started oozing out all of the infection. I felt so much relief so quickly that it was unbelievable. And the doctor told me that if I wouldn't have been able to get any of the liquid out, they would have had to do surgery to see how bad it was. And if it was bad enough, then it could have been to the point where they would have had to amputate my leg. Luckily, that didn't happen. Unfortunately, because I let it go so long, now I have to go to the doctor once everything opens back up because I've been having really bad knee problems. And they told me that it could probably take about 10 or 15 years for the effect to fully hit me. And I really think that it has. I've been in the military for 8 years, so I put a lot of impact on my knees anyway. And with my knee already being weakened from this spider bite, um, I think that's the reason that I've been in so much pain lately. But after all this is said and done, I will be going to the doctor and I will be giving you guys an update. Um, I know you saw me clicking a lot and you saw me moving things around and looking at things and getting close to the computer and zooming in. You heard my mouse spinning, my keyboard clicking. What I was doing actually while I was recording this video is I was making the thumbnail. So all of my thumbnails that I make, I do them I do them 100% custom. So I'm gonna see if I can't figure out a way to um, get a picture of it and show you guys what I was doing while I was filming this video, because I feel like it's a lot it's a lot better for you to be able to see. So see, that's what I was making when I was doing all the clicking. Um, I don't know if you can see the hole. Oh, what's going on? Yeah, so um, if you can see them two white dots right there, mine had one, two, three, four. So it bit me in kind of a cross, and it it really it caused enough damage that after I got discharged from the doctor's office, when I got released, yeah, you're good to go home. Um, I actually couldn't walk on my leg. Like I couldn't walk. I had to keep a band-aid over it, and every like 6 hours I had to unwrap the ace bandage, take the layer of gauze off. I had to put a new layer on, and I had like anti-infection cream, like Neosporin, but like stronger. And I had medicine that I was taking so that it wouldn't get infected again. So if you get bit by one of these, do not do what I did, because you might not feel it right away, but I can almost guarantee you that you will suffer from it in the future. The crazy part is the venom in it. It's actually poisonous enough to kill a human, and I had the red line when I was younger. It came from the bite and it was traveling up my leg. So that was the poison working its way through my bloodstream. I got it just in time. If I wouldn't have, I literally could have either lost my life or I could have lost my leg. Um, but if you're interested in more stories like this, make sure you smash that subscribe button, because I have a whole lot of stories that I'm going to be talking about, going from things that have happened to me to my experiences in the military, what I've done in the military, what I've done in the civilian world, how I even got into making YouTube videos and coming up with this kind of content, because this isn't like what I thought I would be doing, to be honest. I love gaming. I'm a gamer. So I actually have a few games on the channel. You can check them out if you want. But if you're interested in more stuff like this, I'm going to try to upload one of these videos once every 2 days maybe, because I have a lot of stories, and I'm sure that within that 2-day period, I will easily be able to come up with another story to tell you guys, because I'm still in the military, and some of the stuff that I see and or do will probably make you guys just, it'll make you smack your heads, because you're not even going to be able to believe the stuff that we have to do. But let me know in the comments below if you've ever had a situation like this where you've been bit by a spider, or you got, stung by a bee, or you got stung by a scorpion, or bit by a snake. Let me know what has happened to you and how close you were to it being too late to either save the limb, or if you weren't fast enough and you had to actually like have surgery on it. But let me know down below. Make sure you smash that subscribe button, and you'll have more content coming to you like this. Turn on the bell icon so you don't ever miss a video. All right, bye.